Portland and Seattle are long-term shitholes, and they've been heavily resisting Trump against when it comes to ICE and actually, deporting illegals. I know pretty much the entire West Coast is full of sanctuary cities like those two. Of course, the governor of Illinois isn't too happy that President Trump is ordering 400 members of the Texas National Guard for deployments into Illinois, Oregon, and other locations within the United States. No officials from the federal government called me directly to discuss or coordinate. Which, as the governor, he should probably be called to be informed that it's actually happening. I will agree with that aspect of things. But since he is the governor of Illinois and obviously complaining about this, I'm gonna just assume he's a leftist. I mean, that's basically how they all are, especially when it comes to these states. Actually, I think I've seen him on video before. That face looks really familiar. So my assumption is correct. I know that is a fact. And then the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, said that he fully authorized the president to call 400 members of the Texas National Guard to ensure safety for federal officials. He can either fully enforce protection for federal employees or get out of the way and let the Texas Guard do it. No guard can match the training, skill, and expertise of the Texas National Guard. They defend our country with pride. America must know that Texas still has thousands of National Guard assisting with border security. Absolutely fucking based. Not a big fan of Texas personally, between Ted Cruz and the Indian statue and just a bunch of other things that happen within Texas. There's the whole, Texas is such the base, deep red state. In reality, it's very much not. I mean, part of it is because of the amount of illegals that come into the country, and, usually the first stop is the border states. That's why they have such high amounts of illegals and Hispanics, browns, whatever you want to call them. Disgusting. But Greg Abbott is generally decent, I would say. Ted Cruz is god-awful, but I've seen decent things from Greg Abbott before. I mean, he is a politician, so you gotta, take everything he says with a grain of salt. But generally, he's pretty decent. So I'm glad that he's come out and support and gotten the 400 members of the Texas National Guard to be sent to these other states to actually take care of the problem at hand, which is the fact that these states are doing a good job of trying to hurt the country. I mean, okay, that way I phrased that I didn't really like how I phrased that. But these states really are just purposely trying to ruin the country. I get they're the corrupt, because all politicians are corrupt, right? Obviously, the Republicans, the rhinos, they're all corrupt too. But there's something inherently evil about the Democrats. It's just there's something about the fact that they are so willing and so happily just allow every single foreigner in. I know as part of it's their voting base. They want to increase the welfare because that helps increase taxes and then they can just enrich themselves. But there's something inherently evil about them with their mentality. Yeah, there's the rhinos, the Republicans, the other politicians on the right that kind of do the same thing when it comes to, corruption aspects. But to just constantly import a foreign base that don't speak a lick of English, that constantly blow everything up and murder and rape, and just literally destroy everything that's good. There is something evil about that, in my opinion. And it's frustrating. And then you have people like Gavin Newsom losing his shit. He's been trying, for the past 2 weeks, he's been trying to act like old Donald Trump from back in 2016. Because for some reason, he thinks that was part of Trump's appeal. I mean, it was at the time. And, Trump's unhinged rants, his unhinged tweets are kind of missed because they did have a certain charm to them. But endless shouting is not why Trump won the election the first time and should have won it the second time. And Gavin Newsom is trying to replicate that for some reason. And literally, the left just can't meme. The left just can't meme. States cannot invade one another! This is so simple, so fundamental to America. I cannot believe I have to type those words. America is on the brink of martial law. It's not invading one another. Listen, once again, not a big fan of the government, but it's federal, the National Guard. I mean, I know it's the Texas National Guard, but they're being called on the federal level, and federal does trump state, for better or for worse. In this case, it is better because you have I'm usually more for the states' rights. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the government. I can't stress this enough. But when you run your state into such a shithole where crime is so much higher than some third world countries out there, where, it's being burnt down, graffitis everywhere, homeless people just shooting up on the streets, and filled with full brown foreigners that don't fucking belong here, you don't deserve your state rights in that case. That's where the federal does have the right to come in and clean it up, because you're failing your job as the governor to take care of the state. that you're supposed to do. Like, if you're not handling your responsibility correctly, then the people above you are going to get rid of you and trample over whatever you had there because you're not doing your job. It's that simple, right? I'm not a big fan of corporations either, but if you're a manager of a small team and you are mishandling your team, abusing your team, they hate your guts, and they're constantly cycling out new employees all the time, and you're falling behind on all your projects versus a team with a different manager is doing a great job. You can call Governor Newsom, though I wouldn't be completely against that, but it's just a simple fact of how hierarchy works. If you're not using your position and your power of the hierarchy properly, the people above you have all right to come in and just clean it up, to handle the issue and completely get rid of you if necessary. It's not martial law. It's not states invading one another. It's you failing to do your fucking job. Just make it simple. If someone comes in illegally, then it's open season on them. See, that's how I personally work. But Trump is too kind when it comes to how these the rules and regulations work. States' rights only work when the states are populated by actual Americans. Yes, I agree, and that hasn't happened in many decades at this point, and it's only getting worse. So, but it is funny Gavin Newsom has the audacity to cry about martial law because, you know, rules for me but not for thee type of deal. But it's Gavin Newsom. What do you expect? You know, he's crying here about Caroline Leavitt admitting Donald Trump wants the military to continue to take over American cities across the country. Do not allow them to normalize this. So let's see what she's actually saying. Is the military actually taking over American cities? Is it really all that bad after all? Actually, I kind of hope, honestly, even if this is correct, I still see it as a good thing. But depending on what the city is, so. And bear with me, chat, I have to manually adjust everything, due to my stream deck not functioning.
Do Democrats not have reason to be concerned that there are long-term plans by this administration to keep U.S. military or the National Guard in American cities, like what we're seeing here in Washington?
Why should they be concerned about the federal government offering help to make their city replace? They should be concerned about this. They should be concerned about the fact that people in their cities right now are being gunned down every single night, and the president, all he's trying to do is fix it. And there has been a complete smear campaign by the Democrats and the media, quite frankly. I was reading Political Playbook this morning, one of the most inside the Beltway newsletters you can find. And you guys are framing this like the president wants to take over the American cities with the military. The president wants to help these local leaders who have been completely ineffective in securing their own city. And we have already seen there's a positive formula for that. Look at Washington, D.C. The murder rate has declined significantly. Our streets are safe. People who live here feel safer. All of you in this room, I know you do, you just won't admit it. And it's a proven system that works, and the president wants to make America's cities safe again. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Listen, she may be a woman, but she did not say anything wrong. And that statement there, like, absolutely fucking base, though. I am noticing the lack of the cross necklace that she used to wear all the time. That's a little bit suspicious, but that's a different topic for a different day. But, like, what she is saying is completely true. Like I was talking about earlier, it's all about actually trying to make these cities better because they have failed to actually govern them. It's that simple. You fail to do your job, you're going to get the federal government involved. They purposely are making these cities worse because they just don't care. They only want to make themselves richer. It's like, there's no other way to explain it. It's just that simple. And these journalists, these governors, these mayors just refuse to admit it because they want to keep their power. They don't want things to get better. They want things to get worse. That's how they get richer. That's how they gain more power. It's just through the destruction of the American people. They simply do not care. If anything, they're more scared shitless. And yeah, Washington, D.C. is a great example of it. That's another good thing Trump has done. And it's a great example of it. Like, he can do the same to Chicago, to New York, to all of California, Oregon, and Washington. Like, it's not that hard. And the only thing that's making this difficult is he's still abiding to the rules and regulations. And he shouldn't. He absolutely fucking shouldn't. Yeah, I'm gonna have some sort of lefty come in here and cry, oh, you want him to break the law? How unconstitutional. Yeah, I don't give a flying fuck anymore. The most important thing to me is the safety of my nation, my country, my people. And if he has to break 50 goddamn laws to make that happen, great. 100? Awesome. Whatever it fucking takes, I don't care anymore. I have long given up. Just do it. Like, I'm well aware that sets a precedent for later in case, like another Democrat comes in for them to break those laws too. But I don't care. Obviously, democracy has long past failed. It doesn't matter anymore. We just need solutions, so just do the solutions. Ignore the judges, ignore the mayors, ignore the governors. Go in there with the military, round every single brown person up, and cast them into the ocean. It can feed them to the fishes. I really don't care. Just do it. Of course, that's not going to happen because Trump is not what the left says that he is. I wish he was, but he's not. But a girl can dream. If Trump was the Il Bill Fascismo the left says he is, the nation will be fixed already. Exactly. Exactly. There is a very simple solution to this, and this is not being done. But he's at least trying to get it done, so I can appreciate that. Be the mustache man that the left keeps on calling him. Yes. Yes. I mean, yeah, it's basically the fix everything button meme. Seriously, like, it's, I know, I follow Bukele on Twitter. At least I think I follow him. I see him on my feed occasionally, so I'm assuming I follow him. And, I know he was talking about a while ago how he loves that Bukele has become a verb. Because people just say, just Bukele it. Because that's exactly what he did, right? I know El Salvador is obviously a different country. It's technically a third world. It used to be a third world country. What is it now? Is it still technically a third world country when it's one of the safest countries in the whole world, where the entirety of the Western world is more dangerous than El Salvador is? Is El Salvador still considered a third world country at this point? Like, it used to be. It used to be one of the most dangerous cities in the dangerous countries in the world. All of a sudden, Bukele comes into power, and within a few years, is one of the safest. And he just went after every single person that had a tattoo, those gang tattoos, and just rounded them all up and threw them in prison. Problem fucking solved. Like, it's once again not that hard. You just gotta do things. Just do it. Other people don't use the term second world country, but I personally use the term second world as an in between first and third, because obviously second comes in one and three, obviously, right? Like, I can consider most European countries like a second world country. Did I say European or Eastern European? Because I meant Eastern European. If I didn't, then I guess who else would I consider second world? I think off the top of my head. I honestly mostly just use it for Turkey. Turkey's a second world country in my eyes. Obviously, there's more factors than just crime rates, but crime rate does at least reflect a lot of the other statistics like the economy as well. So I would probably put El Salvador as a second world country then. I think second world country would fit it. Okay, I'm glad you agree then. Transitioning out of it maybe? Yeah, so maybe second world then. Developing countries, I guess? Well, developing is often referred to as the third world in that case because they're still developing, right? They don't have all the technology, that kind of shit. They're definitely still and maybe applies some my eyes kind of created it. But I think second world fits pretty well. It's Cold War terminology. First world was USA aligned. Second world was USSR aligned. Third world was unaligned. Really? I mean, that makes sense, but I didn't realize that before. But that does actually make a lot of sense. I do like how third world has turned into the whole shithole equivalent, which is fine by me, and makes sense why they were unaligned, because Cold War was more, well, once again, Western, European battles after all,
Is
so...
it the Jews? Is it the Jews?
I'm gonna use second world. I've never actually heard the term second world besides my own self using it, so that's a first, and I kind of like it. But I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change the definition of it like a leftist, adapt it over time. But China count as second world because since they try to pretend they're not a developed country. Yeah, I'd probably consider China second world in that case because they are a power. I wouldn't call them first world because there's still way too much poverty. A lot of the pretty lights that you see is just Chinese propaganda. But I would probably consider it second world. And this is just another example of the leftist mayor going against Trump because that's what they do. They have no leg to stand on, but they must insist it anyways. Of course, it's a black man, a white woman, and a brown woman with a massive nose and ring and gigantic fucking hoops. So, and there's somebody else that's right directly behind him. Based off the dark hair, I'm going to assume it's some sort of Asian or Indian for that dark of a color hair. How fucking predictable. Anyways, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson just announced that he signed an executive order creating ice-free zones to ban ICE agents from the city property. This is sick. They're aiding and abetting criminal, illegal immigrant killers, rapists, traffickers, and gangbangers. I agree, Rapid Response 47. The direct White House talking head. So why don't you do something about it if he's actually aiding and abetting criminal, illegal immigrant killers? Wouldn't that make him a traitor? Wouldn't that make him committing a crime? Why don't you round him up too? I know the left is going to cry that he's going after political opponents, but he's committing a crime, so why don't you just throw him in jail at the bare minimum? That's me. I have a more radical, harsher, way of handling things personally myself.
Today, we are signing an executive order aimed at reining in this out-of-control administration. The order establishes ICE-free zone. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging ground for these raids. And today, we are signing an executive...
The official White House account is saying that he's aiding and abetting criminal illegals. Well, then he's also going against federal ruling as well, because ICE is a federal agent. And he's planning on banning ICE agents from the city property and make ICE-free zones. Like, that's going against the federal government in entirety. That's going beyond a sanctuary city. Which is already criminal in my eyes and should be pretty serious punishments for any sanctuary cities. But now making ICE-free zones as well, banning ICE agents, aiding and abetting illegal immigrant killers, rapists, traffickers, gangbangers. The list goes on and on and on about how many crimes he's committing with this. Why doesn't he get rounded up too? Seriously, just take care of the fucking issue at hand. Use the force the people want it. Press the fix everything button. Just do it already. He's declaring his treason. That's basically it. It's literally just his treason. There's a bunch of other crimes he's also committing in this case too, but there's no better way to explain it. It's just treason. I would love to see Brandon Johnson in cuffs and thrown in jail. That's the bare minimum he should receive. Once again, it's treason, plus a bunch of other crimes as well. Jail is the moderate, nice punishment he should get. Capital punishment. There we go. Capital punishment is the legal term. I think I can say that, can't I? And then we have an Oregon judge ruling that the commander-in-chief cannot station federal troops in her state to defend the lives of the federal officers. So I figured we might as well read this. It's going to be boring legal jargon, but still. Based on this court's prior opinion in an order granting plaintiff's first motion for temporary restraining order, ECF 56, the hearing on plaintiff's second motion for temporary restraining order, and the newly submitted declarations, a bunch of legal jargon, this court grants plaintiff's second motion for temporary restraining order, ECF 59, and orders as follows. 1. Defendants are temporarily enjoined from deploying federalized members of the National Guard in Oregon. 2. The second temporary restraining order expires by its own terms in 14 days on October 19, 2025. 3. Plaintiffs are ordered to post a nominal bond of $100 within 48 hours. The bond shall be filed in the clerk's office and be deposited in the registry of the court. 4. Defendants request to stay or administratively stay in the secondary temporary restraining order, which was raised up in hearing on the plaintiff's second motion for temporary restraining order, is denied. 5. The court clerk will contact the parties to schedule a telephone hearing on October 17th, 2025 to address whether the secondary temporary restraining order should be extended for another 14 days. 6. Binding motion for a preliminary injunction shall be filed no later than October 17, 2025. Defendant's opposition shall be due no later than October 23, 2025, and plaintiff's reply shall be due on October 27, 2025. 7. A combined hearing on the preliminary injunction motion and trial on the merits under Rule 65A2 is set for and courtroom 13A beginning 9 a.m. It is so ordered, dated the 5th day of October. Karen J. Emergut. Emergut does not sound like a... Well, it's definitely not an English name. It kind of gives me German vibes. But I also want to do an early life check now with it. Did I understand any of that stuff? Not really. Not really. It's legal jargon. I'm too dumb of a woman to know law. But, you know, ruling against the president about federal troops in our state to defend ICE and do their jobs. Not exactly the best look, is it now? Karen Immigrant? That's how I kind of feel. I was like, I kind of want to pronounce it that way, but it's not. Surname check. Emergut. Let's go. Emergut. Wikipedia, updated 21 hours ago. That's great. Well, she kind of looks Jewish. But early life says that she was born in New York City. So her father was an Austrian chemist and her mother a Swedish mathematician. Her parents married in Sweden, then immigrated to the United States, where Karen was born. So they're still immigrants. I mean, they're white immigrants, which is better, but they're still immigrants, and recent ones too. After the Hart-Celler Act. No, before the Hart-Celler Act. Still a traitor. Still a traitor. That's her Wikipedia. Oh, I like how last name origin is something that could pop up. German origin? That's what I figured. So, she has passed the early life check that I can do in a short amount of time. Obviously, if it was maybe a deeper one, maybe we can find more information. But from a passive early life check, she has passed. New York City's already suspicious. That's how I feel too, but Austrian and Swedish parents, German surname. And I'll let her pass for my my brief early life check. Before Hart-Celler, possibly Jewish. Before Hart-Celler, possibly Jewish. Yeah, possibly, but from what I could find, she passes. She kind of does look a little bit Jewish to me, but I'm not the best at noticing based off looks, so don't come to me for that. Definitely a little bit sus, but she passes for now. So needless to say, between the judges passing laws essentially against it, the mayor coming out as well, Trump is talking about invoking the Insurrection Act if rogue judges, mayors, and governors continue holding up and defending the federal law. Which is great. Absolutely based. Though the only issue I have here is that he has no problem invoking. He's only considering it. He's not saying he's actually going to do it yet. He's just considering it. But let's actually hear from the Orange Man himself.
Over a week. What? Well, I'd do it if it was necessary. So far, it hasn't been necessary, but we have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that. I mean, I want to make sure that people aren't killed. We have to make sure that our cities are safe. Over a week.
Absolutely based. Especially the last line that we have to make sure our cities are safe. 100% agree. Except he's not actually putting the Insurrection Act as far as I'm aware. Unless something has changed since stream started. Because I do not check for updated news once stream starts. I just use the tabs I already have at hand. But as of when I got this clip, which was 3 hours ago at this point, he has not actually invoked the Insurrection Act. He just said he would be willing to use it. Which is great. Like I said, I'm glad that he's willing to use it. But he needs to actually use it to handle the problem, because the problem is still there. There's lots of fucking examples here. Like, there is a Portland police refused to arrest an Antifa militant who threw a cup of urine in the face of conservative journalists this morning despite it happening right in front of them. This was this morning here. Today, Monday, that this happened. So it looks really dark out for being morning, so they're really out at like 6 a.m. They're leftists. They're leftists. They don't usually come out that early from the woodwork for that shit. Regardless. So there's that. Then there's the Antifa spits a federal agent on the face and immediately regrets it. Of course, we have I'm assuming a woman, I mean, it's probably it, but assuming a woman wearing the Stitch jacket hoodie thingy.
You guys got the law here! Go back to the fucking South alone!
Is that dude screaming that they're protecting pedophiles? Dude, listen, I'm not happy about the Epstein list either. Trust me, I am well aware that Trump is definitely hiding something when it comes to the Epstein files. That's a actually solid major criticism of him. But the left is no better when it comes to that. Should I remind you of Pizzagate by chance? Or the fact that literally all politicians and corporations and billionaires are kind of involved with pedophilia in general. Like, it's not something we're gonna get a solution for, left or the right. But okay then. Man, full respect to these guys doing their jobs. I'm not sure if these guys are ICE or part of the National Guard. Maybe the tweet said it. Just says federal agent. So either one. I guess so probably ICE then. But man, this looks exhausting. Like, having to deal with this all fucking day with these crazy fat leftists that just, like, try to basically instigate you to a fight and everything you just have to deal with that. Look at how they're so annoyed. They're so done with it. They're just waiting for a chance to attack them. Good. Spitting is considered assault, and for good reason. I mean, spitting is not like the worst thing you can do to somebody. Well, it actually can be, because one, it's a leftist, and it's in Portland. Actually, is this in Portland? I need to double check that one too. It doesn't say where they're at. I'm going to assume it's in Portland or Seattle. Somewhere in a leftist city, essentially. Are not exactly known for being clean, and they're full with lots of degeneracy. And you don't know if that person has AIDS or another, I was gonna say sexually transmitted disease, but really, any disease that can transfer through bodily fluids. And so being spat at can actually ruin your life if you're really unlucky. It deserves full force. You get what you fucking deserve, you little piece of shit. This is Portland? Okay, that's what I thought. I know Portland has been the main focus of the ICE issues because it is such a hotbed full with Antifa. Get fucked. And then there's Nick Sorter. He put out an American flag that the street thugs lit on fire. He was then arrested by Portland Police Department while street thugs who lit the fire roam free. Typical Portland.
He's putting on the ground and he's in your flames.
Totally sane individual, by the way.
We gotta support it. We gotta check here.
Oh, he's putting it on the ground and he's making it worse. And now he's standing on it.
It's making it worse. She clearly doesn't know what she's talking about. He's trying to put the fire out because it's a hazard. What's...
No, he's not supposed to stand on it. Oh, now I think he's saving it.
God, she's got such a punchable voice, so condescending. Oh, look at him. He's now standing on it. You're not supposed to stand on it. Isn't that the bad thing to do? Yeah, no, fuck you, woman. But there he is again, attacked by Antifa thugs for simply walking down the public sidewalk near Ice Portland. They ripped my American flag, the one I saved from being burned, out of my hands, but I was able to recover it.
Here and we're live, right? We got it. Okay. So now you're gonna get assaulted. You're gonna be pushed. You're gonna be. Don't do that. Where'd it go? I don't know, man. I got. Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, somebody got knocked down? Damn. I didn't really see that over the fucking chaos, because when you get this many people, I'm just like, I don't know what's happening.
Neutral. I had to pick this up because I got. Yes, I have. I had to pick this up because I got shot. Yes, I did. I got as much as I could. I didn't see it, and I was asking people what happened. I almost had somebody hold the camera until I saw there's medics there to help him. Hey, there's an ambulance coming in. Get out of the middle of the street.
They're not gonna fucking listen. They're just a horde of insane individuals. They're not gonna listen to him until the sirens keep on coming in, and then even then they probably wouldn't. Who got even knocked down though? I didn't even see that happen. Like, well, I guess that's there, kind of. Wait, did he get hit in the leg? What? Like something happened, and this guy is reaching down for his leg. And then the camera focuses back on Nick Sorter, so... Sator? Did he say his last name? I don't know how to pronounce anything. Yeah, then all of a sudden somebody's down on the ground, an ambulance coming. I am very confused. See, this gives me anxiety. Honestly, I know, okay, well, maybe not so bad right now. But like, fuck, man. This is why I don't leave my house. I hate this. Like, I will never be an investigative journalist, personally, myself. I am way too comfy in my dad's basement right now, watching people do the actual work. Because this gives me so much anxiety. I would not be able to handle this at all. Too many fucking people, too many crazy leftists, too much violence, too much retardation, too much of this. Useless police. Like, this just gives me fucking anxiety. Don't know what the hell's going on at all time. Bunch of shouting and yelling. This just looks like an absolute fucking mess and disaster. But it's the left doing it. And it's really just the left that does it all. They like being loud and violent and completely incomprehensible. And it's just so fucking annoying because people just want peace. People just want to live throughout their daily lives. They don't want streets being blocked by these crazy individuals. They just want to be left alone. And instead, they're acting like they're third worlders. But then again, they support the third world, so what did you expect? I think he just bumped on someone? I mean, possibly, but all of a sudden, that guy's down on the ground. There's police surrounding him, and apparently a ambulance is supposed to be coming. So, apparently, the tweet after this, apparently, what the fuck? It looks like Tommy for Trump 420 was arrested for protecting me from some Antifa thug who was attempting to chase me. He doesn't even know his own footage? Okay, maybe somebody else posted. Oh, yeah, somebody else posted this. That's insane! I mean, it's Portland police, so it's not that surprising, but it's still absolutely insane that I'm assuming the guy on the ground is just being arrested because he was trying to stop Antifa from attacking Nick Sorter. What the fuck? Maybe we need to deport these people too, besides the foreigners? Well, one thing that I really like about what, like, Sargon's been saying a lot recently, because I watched his, I listened to his, Starmer, declared war on the right live stream. Last night because I was doing other things. And I know it's well over a week old at this point, but I was like, this one interested me. And he was talking about exiling, and that's one thing I have seen pop up here and there. And it's only really from Sargon that I've been seeing it. But talking about exiling people, and I agree with that. I 100% agree. Exiling is a normal function that a lot of countries and nations used to do back in the day. Was, other than, killing the person with capital punishment whenever they commit treason, you could just exile people, ban them from the country. I do think, capital punishment is the better way to handle some things, but if you don't want to kill someone with capital punishment, you can just exile them instead. And I think that should happen for a lot of people. Politicians, well, I guess it depends on the politician. Like the black mayor from Chicago, I think he should get capital punishment personally. But for a lot of these traitors that are part of Antifa, they should just be exiled. And a lot of them have done pretty nasty, irreparable things before. The only other issue I have with when it comes to particularly the women is that women in general are very susceptible to propaganda. That's why most women are left-leaning, because of how extreme the propaganda is thanks to feminism. And usually a lot of them were leftists back in the day, but then had something happen to them to make them realize and change. Like me. I'm not even using my own anecdotal story. It really is just the case of how it is. Women are just naturally have natural proclivities to leftism. That's one thing that does make me hesitate when it comes to exiling the white women, because I do want to have some sort of rehabilitation program for them to fix them. The men, no, there's no hope for the men. If you're a leftist man, then you're just a soy boy at this point. Sorry, but you're a frog and even turned gay. There's not much saving you. I do think the women are more important in this case, since you need them to have kids. One man can impregnate multiple women, but only one woman can be pregnant thanks to one man. Maybe I want to say maybe like a case-by-case basis, but that's not very efficient. But then I realized that my pipe dream wouldn't become reality because it's a pipe dream anyway, so I guess since it's already a pipe dream, I can just say, yeah, maybe a case-by-case basis because it is unrealistic anyway, so it is what it is. And then this is a little, no, not super older. I know I've placed this on stream before, but there's like anti-ice crowd trails arrest ICE and shoot ICE towards agents at the ICE facility in Broadview, Illinois. And one guy takes it further by adding shoot the fuckers. I'm not gonna play this clip because like I said, I know I showed it on stream before, but it's just more examples of Antifa being violent, or how many trash parks in Portland there are. Oh, it's just music as the background there. This looks like a dumpster, like a trash field right here. I mean, it is, I guess it's a trash field, but like at least the what are they called? Where the dump fields where they take your trash away to? Those look a lot better because then they plant dirt and grass over them so you can hide the fact that there's trash there. This is just fucking just disgusting. It's just full with literal crap and random stuff. Like it's just I mean, it'd be pretty easy to clean up actually. It'd be done in a day's work, but they're just leaving it there to just rot. Like some sort of homeless park. You can tell by like the tent and the chairs and whatever this is. Capitalism breaks my heart? Hold on a second. Hold the phone. Please. Thank you, video, for loading here. Capitalism breaks my heart? Really? Really, you're blaming capitalism for this? Okay, you don't know what you're talking about then. Landfills, thank you, chat. Or like, your cock tastes better. And just spray painted on a random building in Portland. Like, is this actual violence? No. But is it vandalism? Yes. It's making everything look worse. It's treating your city like trash. It's making you live in essentially a third world country, even though it's supposed to be first world. These are not living standards anybody wants to deal with. Like, this is just disgusting. We don't have to live like this. And yet Portland does because they're infiltrated by a bunch of commies. It's disgusting. Antifa in Portland are trained to go for the eyes. Consider what they did to me and Katie Davis Court. Here's a clip from a video of this Nicholas Hufuni, Rose City Antifa, practicing like eye gouge. It takes very little pressure to injure someone's eyes. And there's Andy No. And then there is this Katie Davis Court. Pretty woman. See, this is why I would never do investigative journalism like this personally. I definitely feel like it's more of a man's role to do this because I am a weak and fragile woman, and there's only a few things women are valued for, and one of them is their looks. And I'm not gonna lower my rating on the scale to be punched in the face. I've already broken my nose 3 times, okay? I have broken my nose 3 times. I do not need a 4th. It's not fun. Like, this is why I would not do investigative journalism when it comes to Antifa, because fuck this shit. But shout out to these two for actually doing the work, especially Andy No, because he's been tracking Antifa for years now and even wrote a book about it. But they are quite violent. You know, I've played this video on stream before as an example of Antifa, but here's a video from 2021 where he ran for his life in down streets of Portland and literally had to hide in a fucking hotel as they were pounding on the doors and demanding to get access to him. And they even was able to tackle him at one point before he even got to that. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. They punched me over and over and tried to choke me out. I barely managed to stumble into the Nines Hotel, tearing my knee tendon in the process. So, very peaceful people that ICE and the National Guard are currently dealing with. Totally safe and effective.